of different type of practice, such as control, semi-control, and free practice. During this stage, the value can connotation of word must be clarified at the control and semi-control practice stage language. Accuracy is very important important, so we correct. The third stage of consolidation is free practice, which can be a role play activity, a language competition, or description of somebody extra. At this stage, delay or gentle correction is used. The more popular activity are gap filling or sorting exercise activity and discussion. Another way of teaching vocabulary goes on by discovery activities. Students are asked to discover the next slide. Of language, some experience in learning it. Teacher must not forget the fact of constant reversion of the same vocabulary item is necessary. So the recycling of new word is inevitable. By recycling vocabulary, we mean regular repetition of the same vocabulary item at higher and higher level, expanding the core vocabulary with more and more new words belonging to the topic. Okay, finish my. Hello,
Okay, once
Mr.
again, yeah, thank you. Once again, I would like to say hello to teacher and everyone again. And this is my point, using dictionary. So students need training in use of dictionaries, bilingual or monolingual ones, which will help them understand the structures, the abbreviation, the given information, and how to find expressions. Bilingual dictionaries are very useful for the student to get the clear meaning of words. On the other hand, monolingual dictionaries will suggest how they should use the target word in a sentence. For example, when the student don't know and cannot find the word easily, they use the dictionary to find it, because dictionary is yeah, easy to use and easy to find the word. It highlight from A to Z, yeah, and something like that. And my group is finished. And everyone, do you have any question?
Okay, that's okay. Thank you for your group presentation. And
Thank you, teacher.
Any comment or any?
Hello, teacher.
Hello, yes. Thank you. But for my suggestion, your slide should not write too much. If you have more, you can add more slide. If you write too much in one slide or one page, it seems like sometimes it looks so boring. Like you see the vocabulary as well.
Yeah, teacher. Thank you, teacher, for your combination.
សុំតណាខណៈសំឡេងយ៉ាងអូឡូអ៊ូអតិចដោយសារនៅនេះនៅច្រើនអញ្ចឹងចង់និយាយថា slide ដូចអា slide ដែលគ្នាយើង present មិញវាចង់និយាយថាយើងសេវាអត្ថន័យវាច្រើនហើយក៏ប៉ុន្តែបើសិនយើងចង់សរសេរក្នុង presentation ក៏សរសេរប៉ាត់ណាប៉ាត់ណីមកក្នុងមួយ slide យើងសុខចិត្តវាយជា list down ជាត្រេចុះបន្ទាត់ទៅមកហើយយើង paraphrase វាតិចមកហើយយើងបែកទៅ slide មួយទៀតអញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលយើងមើល slide ហ្នឹងគ្រាន់តែដាក់មើល slide មកគ្នាយើងចូលមកអានយកអញ្ចឹងហើយអ្នកមើលក៏គាត់រៀង boring អញ្ចឹងណា Okay, thank you. The next group, who is in the next group? Which group is it?
It's group number 5.
Number 4, right?
5.
5. Okay, 5. You can see the screen here. And also don't forget to mention your group member name and also call them to check the attendance as well.
Yes, teacher. I don't have my computer, teacher. So, does anyone have a computer? Please help to share screen for my group, please.
Nghe dương cả na miền ấy ai share còn tịch tới.
ដោយសារតែខ្ញុំប្រើទូរស័ព្ទ teacher ខ្ញុំ share អត់កើត
ចាំមើលខ្ញុំ share សិនបើខ្ញុំខាងខ្ញុំវាសំឡេងចូលវាអ៊ូអច្រើនបន្តិចបានខ្ញុំចង់ share ណា
Yes, teacher.
Group 4 ឬក៏ group 5
5, teacher, 5.
ខ្ញុំស្នើឲ្យគ្នាយើងទៅ stay rename ដាក់តែឈ្មោះក្រុមចូលក្នុងក្រុមផ្ញើឯកសារមកទាំងដល់អត់សូវមានអ្នក stay ឈ្មោះក្រុមដល់ពេលខ្ញុំពិបាករកមែនតើនេះដឹងណាដឹងណីទេនេះ
group 5 ដូចជាក្រោយគេ teacher ឃើញអត់ទាន់មានណា share បន្តទៀតទេហើយខ្ញុំ rename ហើយ teacher
ខ្ញុំបានខ្ញុំថាវាគ្រាន់តែដាក់ឈ្មោះមក stay rename តែបន្តិចសោះអត់ចេះ rename presentation យើងត្រូវដឹងថាយើងមានអីអត់អីយើងត្រូវ ready មុនណាលើក្រោយហើយ be ready ដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងវាមិនមែនជាទៅជា ready វាទៅអីផ្សេង
Dạ là cả bình. Ôi, nó internet. Này dương chăm tí chứ, nhưng cùng là xe máu.
Yes, teacher ឃើញហើយ teacher.
Chaលោកគ្រូឃើញហើយលោកគ្រូ
Okay, you can start now.
Okay. First of all, I would like to how do you do teacher and good afternoon all beloved classmates. Okay, now I would like to test my group leader group member. Hi បងមុនឆៃ
Hello hello. Are you hear me?
Yes. And
Okay.
Sana Siêu Hong, Pichka,
Yes. Yeah.
Sophia, Tum Liếp.
Yeah, bồ. Bên này ai?
Okay, ai tới bán đấy nè.
Hey.
Okay, let's go. Okay, teacher, next slide, teacher. Okay, thank you, teacher. So I don't waste the time, so I go forward to the step of my presentation. So the first one is the basic principle of using tools in the foreign language classes. And number two is a visual and technique of visualization. And number three, audio resources and way of audio production. And number four is audio visual means of education and approaches to video production. And number five, information and communication technology. Next slide, teacher. Okay, this is my point. So my point is a basic principle of using tools in foreign language classes. Okay, so according to the book of Mr. Tom Linson's 2001 say that one can be considered tools, resources, and uh, 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 resources and didactic material as anything that can be used to facilitate learning of language. Okay, so and then Mr. Tom Linson, has outlined different criteria for classify didactic material in the following stages. Okay, there are four different kind. So instruction, and number two, experiential, and number three, elicitative and exploratory. Okay, this is a four kind of didactic material. So a didactic material, we mean that all the tools that we use to supply for our teaching and learning, like uh, blackboard, whiteboard, flip chart, and everything as a tool. But for resources, we refer to the lesson also. And the resources, we have a four kind also. Number one, visual and techniques of visualization. And number two, audio resources and way of audio production. And number three, audio visual mean of education and approaches to video production. And number four, information and communication technology. Okay, my group member will describe one by one in the next slide. Okay, we tell you in detail about the next slide. Okay, thank you, teacher. Next slide. Okay, for using the tool also. Okay, we have one note. When using any tool, one has to obey basic didactic principle of a principle. One of them is so-called three stages principle. One, pre-medium. Number two, activity, and number three, and follow-up stages. When we use all the tools in the class, we say in the class, during the class, or during teaching and learning, so all the tools we use in 3 steps like that. Pre-medium means that we use the tool to lead or to attract the student to the lesson. And then number 2, activity step. Activity step is the step that we use all the tool with the student and for the student to do the activity and to get the lesson. And number 3 is the follow-up stages. Follow-up stages like the step that we test the student about what they are getting from the lesson during teaching. Yes. Okay, that's all for my point. So continuously, I would like to invite Brother Chai to continue the presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much. So everyone can to hear me as well. So can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, I hear you, but
Yeah,
It's clear.
thank you so much. So my point is responsible with the visual and techniques of visualization. So first of all, I would like to pay respect to our teachers and good afternoon, everyone. So the visual and technique of visualization is refer to all the material used for teaching and learning. To identify a technique based on using visual and aiming at student initiated visualization where the stimulus for authors, authoring and the main source for language learning is provided. So I have 8 points that support to the visual and technique for of visualization. The first point, non-verbal aspect. Non-verbal aspect is referred to those of transfer of learning that our teacher, apprehension, people need to target language, culture, and follow students. The two, various sort of board. Various sort of board is referred to all materials such as blackboard, whiteboard, planner board, flip chart that can be used in static and interactive way at the same time. So number 3, screen resource. Screen resource is as a house book. We have the house book for learning, like activity or workbook or dictionary published for language. So these are all material that involved with the brain resource. So number 4, flashcard. Flashcard is we have a word or phrase or sentence or particular target language, culture, specific data, like for important people or place or event, chart, table, or grammatical rules. So this is a flashcard can be contain all points what I have read for you. So it will be support to the visual teaching or learning. So number 5, PowerPoint image. PowerPoint image is referred to the projection of PowerPoint image, text or picture. For example, like slide here that we are displayed in the screen here like this. So this is a PowerPoint mean. So number 6, diorama. Diorama is referred to the model of place like habitat of animal, even like a farmer's historic event and various situations like a traffic accident can provide a resourceful similar for students. So number 7, display. Display is a short meaning the same implies to display set up in or outside language classroom, focusing on any language learning related topic or event. So the last, real layer. Real layer can be classified in a further category. One can distinguish objects that are typical for the target language culture, like urn, English, postman, hammer, or packet, box, container, or suit. So these are all are a point that support to the visual or technique of visualization that we can raise it and for our teaching to the students. So this is all my points. Thank you so much. So the next, I would like to invite Miss Sauna to continue her responsible. Thank you.
Do you hear me, everyone?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Brother Chai.
Okay.
And good afternoon, teacher and my classmate. My point is talk about audio resources and ways of audio production. The natural human demonstrate for acquiring and developing listening skill. Even the word mother tongue indicated that parents and the closest community, the family plays an important role in providing language patterns that are created through hearing and listening. And number one, audio record players, reel-to-reel tape and cassette recorder. So have been used authentic resources for language learning, science, the development of direct method and audio lingual method. Their importance has not changed, so they are being replaced by internet or web, radios, and various kind of digital recording. For example, like CDs and MP3. And number two, audio resource can be distinguished depending on the target audience. One can use material records or broadcast for language learning purpose and authentic media that have been targeted at native speaker or people living in the target language country. And number three, authentic resource recorded for language teaching purpose. So when making resources of this kind, one has particular classroom needs and student in mind. If one has not found any published or authentic material or cover the topic, one need to present production or recording on one's own is the way out. Worksheet and any supplementary material can be produced on the teacher's own initiative too. People whose voice is recorded do not necessarily structure and grade their language. And number 4, music. Music has played an important role the language education too. Using musical recording to bring students to a relaxed state has been typical for Suggestpedia and Relaxopedia. And the last one, number 5, audio project or work project. Audio project it means that another purpose of recording student performance is to grade. And work project it means that the activity that led to the production of audio project. My point is finished. I would like to invite Miss Tu Siêu Hong.
Yes, sister, thank you for inviting me. Do you hear me, teacher and everyone? Hello, teacher.
Yes, I hear.
Yes. My points talk about audio visual mean as education and approach to video production. Yes, the meaning in the history as the development of language teaching method. Direct and audio linguistic method were followed by audio visual method as an outcome of research ensuring how effective teaching and learning can be depending on the resource used. If the input is given by audio visual means. For example, seeing and hearing is involved. 50% of the information gained will be stored in the long-term memorized. The efficiency can be increased up to 70% is the audiovisual input accompanied by student oral production. Originally, sound slides like book, cassette, sound film, and educational television were used. And then the best practice of applying traditional audiovisual means has been implemented by contemporary teachers who use videotape, DVD, and any other audiovisual digital sources like class presentation to facilitate language learning. And about the kind of video for education, yes, my point was finished, so I would like to invite Sister Vajika continue for the slide. Yes, thank you, teacher and everyone. Hello, Sister Vajika.
Vijika, where are you, Vijika?
Vajika. Sister Vajika.
ប្រហែលជានេះហើយ ស៊ីហងជួយអាន
Mai
slide
chị.
បញ្ចប់ទៅឲ្យសរុបរួមតិចទៅចំណុចគាត់
Teacher, the slide number 4, teacher. Yes, continue. Kind out video for education. Number 1, authentic video. Number 2, talk about authentic video republished for languages. Sorry, for language teaching purpose. And number 3, private authentic video record for language teaching purpose. And number 4, educational authentic video and video published for language teaching. Yes, finish my point. So I would like to invite my member continue.
Thank you, Miss Cho Jae-hong. Teacher, next slide. Yes, thank you, teacher. Hello, teacher, and hello, all classmates. My point is talk about information and communication technology. Hear me, teacher? Hello?
Yes,
I hear.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that contemporary digital IE computer operates information and communication technology offer an unlimited chain for share direct learning to the principal or learner. Atomics have to be followed when creating and fruitful learning environment based on ICT. One, multimedia is a mean technique that combine of sound such as video, image, text, and can be recorded for playback and computer, laptop, smartphone, and other electronic device for expressing idea and communication, entertainment, or art. 2. Electronic dictionary. Electronic dictionary is the dictionary whose data is read in digital form that can be accessed through the number of different media. And the last 3, WhatsApp, I would like to invite Miss Kumliep to continue.
Yes, hello, teacher. For the last point is webpage. Webpage is a document for the World Wide Web that is identified by a uniform resources locator. Overall, technologies is a tool to help brain save time, improve collaboration, and communicate quickly. So my point is finished. Thank you.
Okay, this is references that we make the slide and video. Okay, that's all for my group, teacher. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. How about next group? Which group is it?
Group 4, teacher.
Okay, stop share screen. Okay, so group 4, you can share your screen here. Yeah, I see. You can start now.
Hello, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Yeah, would you like at the moment?
Yeah, hello, brother.
Yes, hello, brother.
Yes, hello, brother.
Hello, teacher, and hello, everyone. This is my point. You talk about the domain of culture. The domain of culture is have three domains that we have to study. About first is about the cognitive domain. Cognitive domain is referred to the information about the culture and the learner lesson. It means like the culture that we take in school and student or learner get about information. And about the third is talk about the pragmatic domain. The pragmatic domain is the practical skill that when you study, you can get the skill. When you get the skill, you need to apply for intercultural communication. And the third is talk about the attitudinal domain. The attitudinal domain is referred to the domain that we study and we want to develop about attitude such as open mind, respect, and tolerance, or something that about we study and we want to practice or develop something that we study. About next slide. Hello, brother. Let's next slide. About three. Just about 9.3. 9.3 it talk about what culture do we teach? We teach culture to make our students to get information or get something in the history or in the past. We teach culture. We cannot teach a lot. We can teach about some piece of information or and fact about history, geography, institution, literature, art, and music that we can take to make students know about the culture in the past or something that in the past that we learn. Next slide. And this is about the area of culture. The area of culture, it has about achievement culture. The achievement culture is have products, literature, art, music, architecture. And about behavior culture, it has custom, habits, dress, food, traffic, leisures. And the last is about idea, belief, value, institution. Yes, my point is finished. Please member next.
Okay, thank you and say hello to teacher and everyone. So my topic is to talk about the importance of teaching achievement culture. So the culture refers to that culture which is most visible. Some visible forms of culture include holidays, art, popular culture, literature, and food. And when learning about a new culture, the big C, culture would discover first they are the most overworked forms of culture. So language is a means of cultural education, which is part of global education. And as a holistic approach is the characteristic feature of communicative language teaching. And it is very important for language teachers to develop the students' personalities, their global factual knowledge about the target culture. So the next slide. So the last point is about the objectives of teaching achievement culture. So we have 4 objectives of teaching Big C or culture. So the first is recognize and explanation major geographical monuments. Recognize and explain major historical events. Number 3, recognize and explain major institutions that have political, administrative, religious, and more. And number 4, recognize and explain major artistic. It has architecture, art, literature, music, and geography. So that's all for my points. So continue to my.
So thank you. And this is my point. My name is Pansuma. I would like to say hello to the teachers and all the classmates again. And my point is talking about the importance of teaching behavior cultures about small things. And there are 2 main reasons. Putting a bit more emphasis on the teaching behavior culture than on the teaching achievement culture. And it is small step that the student meet the target country in every minute that they, and that is why we have to provide them with the lifestyle of the target nation. And the other reason for familiar rising languages and learners with your culture is to help them how to survive in a foreign country. So that's all for my point. I would like to invite Miss Alisa about the point of the 9.3 and point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. Yes, my point is the concept belonging to the third area of culture. The concept belonging to the third area of culture will have an impact on both large area of culture, on big C and small c. Religious belief will be reflected in piece of music, in literature, and in music. The same religious belief will give explanation to the eating habit of a nation. Example, Muslim and Jew do not eat pork. Yes, that's all for my point. Move to Sister Sarayrawat.
Okay, thank you, Sister Elisa. And good afternoon, teacher, and good afternoon, classmates. In this point, we are talking about 9.4, why to teach culture. In communicative language teaching, which is content-based, intercultural, and holistic, culture will provide the student with a lot of material which meets the requirements mentioned above. Teaching culture is very important because it contains of basic moral values of life. People can learn how to interact with others, to behave properly in a new society, to appreciate and understand other culture and the way of life by knowing the culture. Besides, by learning the culture, people will know and will learn the language, the people, the politics, and so on. If the young generation are rich of knowledge about their own, they will appreciate and keep the culture alive. However, otherwise, the culture will die and it will loosen one history of one culture and its people. In addition, by learning culture, the young will behave properly. I also want to say, in absorbing foreign cultures, the one needs to filter it, take the good one and leave the bad ones. We have to teach culture so that students can have information about cultures, facts, and this way they can get familiar with the connective dimension of culture. Thank you, and I would like to invite Ms. Sowan to continue to our presentations.
Yes, thank you, Sreda, for asking me. And first, I would like to respect to teacher and good afternoon, everyone. For my point, you talk about goal of teaching culture. So according to the Xavier, there are 7 goals of teaching culture. So the first one is to have students to develop an understanding the fact that all people exhibited cultural condition behaviors. Number 2, to help students to develop an understanding that social variables such as age, sex, social class, and place of residence influence the way in which people can behave. And number 2, to help students to become more aware of conventional behavior in common situations in the target culture. Number 4, to help students increase awareness of the cultural connotation of words and phrases in the target language. Number 5, to help students to develop the ability to evaluate and conversation about the target culture in terms of supporting evidence. And number 6, to help students to develop the necessary skill to locate and organize the target culture. And the last one is to stimulate student intellectual curiosity and to encourage capacity toward its purpose. So that's all for my point and my group presentation. Thank you, teacher, and everybody for your pay attention. Thank you.
Okay, Akuncha, thank you. Do we have the next group or not? យើងមានក្រុមតទៀតទេ
មាន teacher
group 6, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, group 6 can start.
teacher ពួកខ្ញុំអត់មានកុំព្យូទ័រទេ teacher មាននៅក្នុងក្រុមសុភ័ក្រមាននៅក្នុងក្រុមទី6 Could I start now, teacher?
Yeah, you can start now.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to respect to teacher and classmates. My topic is about feedback, and we have 5 members, but we attend only 2 members, Penny and Ban Penny. Next slide, teacher. Hello, teacher.
Okay, hello. You here? So can you see now?
Yeah, teacher. Next slide, teacher.
ដោយសារហ្នឹងខ្ញុំនឹងបញ្ជាដោយសារខាងនេះរៀងសំឡេងអអចឹងទៅខ្ញុំច្រើនតែ mood អញ្ចឹងអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាច continue បានណា start.
Yeah, teacher. Step of presentation. There are 10. You can see in the screen. So I will pass this slide. Go to next slide, teacher. One is talk about feedback and error correction. Student needs to be given feedback during the course to correct their mistake from their teacher, because students will be able to feel that they making progress, and they will know that when they are being correct, they getting everything right, so use confident. And if teacher delay the feedback, it make more difficult for students to connect with what teacher telling them. 2 is talk about feedback. Feedback refer to the information that learners receive from their teacher about their performance, which will help them take self-corrective action and improve their achievement. Next slide, teacher. Number 3, kind of feedback. There are 2 kinds of feedback. One is content feedback, involve the assessment of how good the student's performance was in the communicative activity to perform the task rather than deal with the correctness of their language used in the activity. Form feedback deal with the linguistic accuracy of the student's performance. The teacher will record the errors the students are making during the activity and will give feedback on their success achievement, as well as discuss their errors and mistakes. Next slide, teacher. For error correction. Error correction is a form of feedback given to learner on the use of language. So, for example, like if student could not pronounce the word thief, so teacher should correct them. 5, mistakes. Mistakes are inaccuracies in linguistic production, either in our native language or in the foreign language, that are caused by memory lapse, physical states and conditions such as fatigue, inattention, or strong emotion. 6, slip and attempt. 8, 1989. Distinguish between slips and attempts. from the point of view of learners and teachers, defining slip as mistake that the teacher think the student could have correct. My point is finished, so I would like to invite Ms. Channing to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, and good afternoon, teacher, and good afternoon, everyone. So my point is talk about performance versus competence. Competence is the knowledge of what is grammatically correct. Performance is what occurs in practice. Chomsky regret performance as the faulty representation of competence caused by psychological restriction. Mistake reveals nothing about the underlying competence. 8. Errors. Errors are systematic and may give valuable insight into language acquisition because they are good in the learner's underlying competence. Next slide, teacher. Number 9, teachers' attitude to errors. Teachers are often afraid of their students making errors. They fear that students might learn their mistakes, and so they must make sure that everything they say is correct. This attitude goes back to the earlier belief influenced by the behaviorist models of learning, which maintains that the language can be learned by repeating correct forms until they become automatic. That is why repeating incorrect form is harmful. Next slide, teacher. And number 10, interlanguage. Refer to the process the learner goes through from the initial state when he knows very little about the language, getting to final state when he processes almost complete fluency. It shows a traditional state of the learner's development to well or to completion. It is a system that the learners construct at any stage in their development. Students' errors are a very useful way of giving evidence of what they have learned and have learned. That's all of my presentation. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you. That is the last group, right? Is it the last group or still have one more group? Group ចុងក្រោយឬក៏នៅមាន group ផ្សេងទៀត
Maybe there is no more group, teacher. Maybe this is the last group.
Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. So thank you for your presentation. I'm sorry that is my side is not good. It caused the noise from the neighbors. Okay, អញ្ចឹងអរគុណច្រើនសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃនេះហើយខ្ញុំគិតថាគ្រប់យើងប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយអធិស្ឋានដោយសារមានកែលោមានសម្លេងពីខាងខ្ញុំអីអញ្ចឹងណាអត់មានអីទេបាទដោយសារនៅនោះទៅវាមីក្រូគេបនអីចឹងទៅដល់មកឯងឆ្ងាយតិចប៉ុន្តែមានដោយសារចិត្តអ្នកចិត្តខាងអីចឹងទៅគាត់ជុំគ្នាតិចតួចអីចឹងណា អូខេអរគុណច្រើនអញ្ចឹងយើងមានប៉ុណ្ណឹងទេយើងអាចសម្រាប់ចុះបើសិនតែគ្រប់យើងអស់ហើយណាអរគុណច្រើន
Your teacher.
Yeah, goodbye. Yes.
Goodbye.
Recording stop.